Rebuilding our Western world requires a powerful and unbreakable strategy. Here's the blueprint of what we need to do. The current state of our Western civilization is a mystery to no one. Integrity has been replaced by selfish pride. Men in leading positions, from fathers to educators, from elected officials to celebrities, have abandoned responsibilities in favor of selfish pursuits. The character in many is shady, to say the least. Honesty and truth have taken a back seat in relationships. Trust is shattered through lack of respect for the dignity of the other, and overall, we have lost our drive for the wonderful journey life is by refusing to believe in a dream that was once unquestionable: the well-being and prosperity of humanity. In spite of this, friend, if our society is to prosper and thrive once more, if we aspire to live admirable lives again, we all need to put an effort and focus on the internal restoration of trust within our own homes, within our families. We need a plan to put our house in order for the benefit of ourselves and our children. We need to expand that plan to include our neighbors and communities, our villages and cities, and eventually our nations, so that the West can become once more the beacon of hope it once was, the example of freedom and individuality for all people, for all nations. Action by action, relationship by relationship, child by child, our society's values must be restored, because unless we find again ways to honor our founding principles and repair the cracks and decay, the beacon of freedom and free markets could collapse. And as we saw a few years back, when uncertainty prevails, it won't be long until people demand that governments restrict the entire social system. As much as we want to move beyond the current challenging times, without reflecting on what happened to us and our society, we will be tempted to fall back into bad habits and bad decision patterns. Let us be wiser than that and not miss the opportunity to be humbled by and to learn from our mistakes. Since freedom and individuality is what we want, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of preference, freedom of markets, it must never be far from our minds that there can be no freedom without responsibility, trust, and reciprocity. Our task should be clear. We all, you and me, need to restore confidence in the world around us, one step at a time. Keep in mind, friend, that we as a society have to remind ourselves that character is important, and we need to rediscover and recommit to the value system that rewards and holds in high regard appropriate and constructive behavior that is considerate of ourselves and the ones around us. Trust must be restored in each other and throughout various important organizations, because only when we will find ways to restore confidence in the structures of our society will our freedoms be protected. The question that we all have to answer is, where does this journey begin? You will find the answer to this question in the mirror. That is the first step that you as a man have to take. The journey of bringing back to life our Western world begins with you, friend, with one man, with one family, one community, and one nation at a time. Our journey of rebuilding our society will take us to the second step, from the rebuilding of individuals to the building and care of integrity-centered relationships and partnerships with others who share the same values. Together with them we move on to the third step, which is where we will establish our priorities for the restoration of trust. After that, we will need to build and strengthen the integrity of our communities in the fourth step, and then, finally, we need to move to the fifth stage and build an integrity-centered process within our society. The first step, friend, is self-awareness and self-knowledge. You have to dare to understand yourself, your good and your bad side. You have to be able to define the beliefs that drive you, and you need to know what your priorities in life are. Have the courage to be honest with the man you see in the mirror every morning, and be bold enough to hold yourself to the highest possible standards by having clarity in the beliefs and values that you live your life by. Keep in mind that it is not enough for you as a man to just rank your values and priorities in order. If you are to have any impact in the world around you, it is essential for you to also understand and communicate with others the values that hold your priorities together. For both your personal and professional life, friend, take 2 blank pieces of paper, one for each, and write down your top priorities. Some big picture possibilities to consider might include spouse, family, friends, health, happiness, making a difference, earning money, providing quality skills and services. When creating your list of 4, 5 or 6 top priorities, try to keep a clear separation between your personal life and your world of work, but give careful thought to the values that hold your priorities together. Ask yourself, what is it about these values that enables you to leverage your priorities in the right way? What is it about them that makes you strive and endure whatever comes your way for the family that you love, for example? What are the elements that draw your highest level of professional performance? Understand that self-awareness is the single greatest opportunity to leverage interpersonal integrity and effectiveness. Know that self-knowledge is strengthened by your ability and willingness to listen and to objectively recognize your strengths and weaknesses, together with their capacity and potential. Such insights about yourself will help you know when, where and how to function more effectively and be more at ease with your responsibilities and relationships, both personal and professional. And since each one of us, you, me and every other individual, is at least the master of his own life, it is important for restoring trust within our society as a whole that each individual accepts the responsibility for self-awareness and interpersonal effectiveness. Let us, however, not lose sight of our mission and fall into the rabbit hole of self-awareness and self-improvement that has led many into isolation and useless enlightenment pursuits. Our mission is to restore trust, and we all, you and me, are not of much value if all we do is flounder in conflicting perspectives of self-knowledge. Dare to understand yourself honestly, friend. Take an accurate reading of yourself, but then prepare to act and take action. Since we all relate to others in some way or another, become aware of the fact that communicating effectively is essential in all your relationships, with your wife and children, with your friends and neighbors, with your work colleagues. Put some effort in learning more efficient ways to understand, appreciate and accommodate the diverse styles and individuals in your life, and you will be able to eventually build around you relationships and communities in which acceptance will be based on individuality and differences. Understand that the main elements of strong relationships are always trust, character and reciprocity, and whether you want to have a great marriage, an excellent connection with your kids, or unbreakable friendships or business partnerships, these 3 elements will always have to be part of the foundation. As wide as your vision of the future might become at this point in our talk, never forget that your life, the paths that you will choose and the clarity and confidence with which you will face their challenges emerge from the single most important human relationship possible, a strong and committed marriage partner, your relationship with your wife. With truth and honesty on your side and with an open heart, you will have the chance to make the most important discovery of your life. It is only in the mysterious equations of interpersonal and intimate connection, mutual respect and unconditional love that an integrity-centered life is possible. Restoring trust and confidence in the leadership of our Western society rests upon honest and trustworthy relationships in the home. Any constructive impact that you will ever have upon the lives of others will be made possible because of the unconditional love, honesty and trust that you will have in your marriage. Dare to build such a marriage together with a woman that you love, friend, and understand that strong marriages always radiate their connectedness. Such couples, when they become parents who look up with pride, with feelings of accomplishment upon their children and their efforts, understand how these multiple dimensions of relationships secure the present and prepare the next generation for a flourishing future. Friendships and other close connections capture the connectedness radiation coming from good families and follow the same patterns. From such friendships, grounded in respect and genuine connection built upon integrity, comes confidence, courage and commitment, which are 3 characteristics upon which you can build a life of meaning and impact. And when your actions showcase the words I just shared a moment ago, when you can make your value system and beliefs clear through your deeds, when you can communicate as well as help develop these ideas with others, Success will become a side effect of a life lived with honor and integrity. Remember, friend, trust in any relationship is the byproduct of sincere and predictable behavior. When you as a man or your family as a group or an organization exhibits clarity and consistency through integrity-centered behavior, confidence will be restored interpersonally and culturally. And never forget that restored confidence is the foundation for our future productivity and will help us sustain interpersonal relationships, families, communities, and even our free markets. The dark reflection of broken values and socially biased behavior that begins with the individual and permeates the family, the community, the corporation, the government agency, or the academic institution can be observed on a daily basis in today's society. However, there is a solution, and it is not complicated at all. This step is as straightforward as it can be. A community of trust is built when individuals like you and me and organizations fulfill their mutual promises over and over and over again. To put it simply, friend, do what you say you are going to do and tell the truth about what you did. When mistakes happen, acknowledge them and apologize for them. Do your best to correct them and avoid repeating them. Fairness, directness, and accountability are the building blocks of integrity-centered behavior, whether you have the top job in the corner office or you are the frontline employee loading boxes, because only relationships that are built on trust can provide connections that sustain our various communities, as well as our individual identities. Community is strengthened when individuals engage in supportive behaviors that contribute to the confidence and security of every participant. From the family to the farmer's market, from the neighborhood to the city, every transaction can and should build trust. The accumulation of these unremembered acts will provide everyone with the opportunity to nurture an environment of trust and predictability, a stability that can sustain a community. To bring such an integrity-centered process into our society and to restore confidence across the board and in all areas, we have to applaud and support leaders who successfully transmit the values we have just discussed, not only through words but through actions. Integrity-centered behavior has to replace short-sighted greed, entitlement, and selfishness, and we have a duty to design and build an integrity initiative in the proper way, a roadmap that we can all follow. And I promise you, friend, that such initiative is bound to receive the proper attention at the personal, community, and national level, because most people are decent, and that innate decency responds well to integrity. Will you dare to be the man that looks at our reality in an honest way? Will you have the courage to accept that mediocrity can no longer be tolerated, let alone rewarded, while performance is shamed and ridiculed? Will you be bold enough to take a stance and say enough is enough and take these actions on behalf of your children and grandchildren? The fate of our future, the destiny of our Western society, is in the hands of each one of us. Your choice will impact everyone around you.